Welcome to the March 2nd, 2026 meeting of the Revere City Council. All rise and salute the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk.
Roll call of the members. Councilor Argenzio.
Here.
Here. Councilor Cogliandro.
Here.
Here. Councilor Janino.
Here.
Here. Councilor Guarino-Sawaya.
Here.
Here. Councilor Hass.
Here.
Here. Councilor Kelly.
Here.
Here. Councilor McKenna.
Here.
Here. Councilor Mercurio.
Here.
Here. Councilor Novoselsky.
Here.
Here. Councilor Silvestri.
Here.
Here. And Council President Zambudo.
Here.
Here. Quorum is present. Approval of the journal of the regular meeting of February 9th.
So move.
Public hearings, calendar item number 3. Hearing called is ordered on an ordinance further amending Appendix A, Table of Fees of the revised ordinances of the City of Revere.
Proponents. They should have started by saying this is a public hearing. Can we have the proponents? Now we'll get on track here. Mr. CFO.
Good morning, Mr. President. Richard Biscay, 21 Broadway, CFO. I'm here in favor of the proposed ordinance change for the schedule of fees. I've been here about 8 years. It's the first time we've done a comprehensive review of these fees, and we did it based upon trying to make sure that we're staying par with our neighbors and surrounding communities, and happy to answer any questions on that, but I'm here to in support of the ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other proponents, people in favor? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that side of the hearing. Opponents, anybody opposed? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that side of the hearing. Councilors? No interest here. Okay, this will go to Ways and Means.
Calendar item number 4, this is also a public hearing. Hearing called is ordered on an ordinance further amending Title 12 of the Revere Revised Ordinances relative to construction procedures for street and sidewalk openings.
Proponents? People in favor? Hearing and seeing none, close that side of the hearing. Opponents, anybody opposed? Hearing, seeing none. City councilors. We're good? This will go to Legislative Affairs.
Calendar item number 5, hearing call is ordered on a zoning ordinance further amending Title 17 of the revised ordinances of the City of Revere relative to special permits.
This is a public hearing. Proponents, people in favor? Hearing and seeing none. Close that side of the hearing. Opponents. Mr. Director.
Good evening, councilors. Tom Skrowski, Chief of Planning Community Development, 281 Broadway. I certainly understand the intent of the proposal that's in front of you tonight. I wanted to make 2 notes, clarifications on this proposal. The first, and perhaps most importantly, this proposal would bring us out of compliance for the MBTA community state law. As you all know, back in December of 2023, we had to come into compliance with this law, which states that we have to allow for the creation of at least 25% of our housing stock by right through our zoning code. So at that time in December, we had 2 different zoning districts, one in Green Street and one on Shirley Avenue, that helped us come into compliance with the ordinance. But what that sort of masked, I guess, is that there's a series of other zoning districts that helped us build a baseline. So we had to have 6,135 units that we would be allowed to create by right through zoning, and those two districts covered about 2,500 of that 6,135. So the other districts that played a critical role were those in the RC and GB districts, which between those accounted for about 3,065 of our calculations. So simply put, if we took the RC districts as noted and the GB districts and turned them from a Y to an SP, we would no longer be in compliance with MBTA communities. And then the second note on the smaller item covered here, 174040, referencing single-family and two-family projects that are currently within the jurisdiction of the building commissioner that would become under the purview of the city council per this change. I would also just like to note, we did a recent analysis of our zoning and found that 96% of our parcels in the city are not in compliance with at least one of our zoning ordinance dimensional characteristics. So I think there is some legitimate concern both for the burden of the city council, but also the burden of applicants with one and two family properties, which are smaller scale, often homeowners or homeowner owned, maybe renting on the other side. This would place a pretty big burden on everybody if that scale of properties would then fall under the purview of the council. So I'm happy to talk about any of that if you do have particular questions, but I wanted to make those two things known.
Mr. Agenzio.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Skrowski, please. In your calculation that you had submitted to the state, was neighborhood business district included in that calculation?
It was not.
So if we did want to consider this new ordinance, it could apply to neighborhood business and not affect your calculation for housing stock.
It certainly could, and I think that would be appropriate.
Thank you.
Any other councilors? Nobody? Wow. Nobody wants to speak on my
He spoke in opposition
My
to
motion.
that, correct?
What's that?
He spoke in opposition to that, correct?
He did,
Okay, thank you.
yes,
Just
and,
didn't hear that part of it, so. Thank you.
oh, yeah, no, that's,
Okay, thank
and
you.
we,
Yes.
the key to the
Yes.
director speaking is to tell us that the governor has put this in place, and we can't put in place what I had originally hoped for. We got to be in compliance with the MBTA communities law. As much as that hurts my throat to say that, we have to, but Councilor Argentio brought up one of the points I was going to bring up. She saved me the trouble, I won't have to. This is going to committee, and we're going to work out the details. We know that the big details were dictated by, but we do have some tweaking we can do that will protect neighborhoods. So this will go to zoning.
Calendar item number 6, hearing called as ordered on a bond authorization in the amount of $1,250,000 for Mass DEP CWSRF Planning Project number 19200.
Proponents. I'm sorry, I'm discombobulated here tonight. Off my game. Mr. CFO, you're back.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Rich Fiskey, CFO, 201 Broadway. I'm here to speak in favor of this bond authorization. This authorization will help us continue with our efforts in complying with the DEP and EPA on our consent decree, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
We're told that we got to comply with a lot of things that are distasteful, especially to the taxpayer. It's like eating the poison.
Good evening,
Mr.
councilors.
Superintendent.
Chris Charamella, Superintendent of Public Works. 321 Charger Street. I'd also like to say I'm a proponent for this. This is to advance the design for Conveyance 1, the project that runs along the new high school site, and the inflow and removal for Project 13. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other proponents? Hearing and seeing none, close that side of hearing. Opponents? Anybody opposed to this? Hearing and seeing none, that side's closed. Councilors? Councilor McKenna?
Thank you. Chris, can I ask you a question, please? So is CDM Smith doing the job for, you know how much I like them? Are they doing the job for the high school?
They are doing Conveyance 1, yes.
Yes. Were they the lowest bidder?
Yes, they were actually the lowest bidder on the last time we put out the engineering services contract.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Councilor Mercurio?
Thank you, Mr. President. Chris, one more question, please. Thank you, and I also have one for Mr. Viskey. Chris, you said this is the outflow pipe for the school project?
So this is Conveyance 1. So since we line most of the sewer infrastructure in the city, the next step is moving forward to upsize some of the sewer lines. These are the main trunk lines that move sewage around the city. So this will be upsizing the 24-inch sewer line that starts at Revere Beach and goes down to the old NECO site into our sewer interceptor.
Okay,
We'll be upsizing it from 24-inch to 36-inch.
okay. And does that work include a little of the big outflow pipe that's behind the old high school? Does it connect into that somehow? Or is
It ties into that existing trunk line that goes down Lee Burbank.
Okay, great.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Viskey, please?
You sound like you know what you're talking about.
What's that?
You sound like you know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. He does. Construction?
Good evening, Mr. Viskey. This is 1.2 million on the descent decree, correct?
If approved, yes.
Yeah. And how much have we spent already on the descent decree? Ballpark. Just bring the residents up to date on it. We'd like to, since we're going to give you another million too, might as well tell what the whole package
Well,
is.
you're not giving it to me necessarily, but it's about $120 million.
$120 million so far. And do we see light at the end of the tunnel for this?
I'm not the best person to ask that. Chris is much more involved with the actual, the decree itself and its status. I just make sure we borrow the money so we can continue on with the projects.
I forgot you're the money man, he's the dirt man over there, right? Chris, when do you think we will see a little light at the end of the tunnel? I know it might be... Really?
What is it? Kind of 2038. 2038.
The end of the consent order, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's 2038
2038,
is estimated completion. That's completing all of our conveyance projects
okay.
to date. But we have been talking with the DEP on and off, and we're pushing to get out of the consent decree as soon as possible.
Understandable.
We are.
So we're going to be asking for more money. You're going to be asking for more money down the road.
To complete the required consent decree
Okay.
planning projects, yes.
And has
unfortunately.
CDM Smith given you a cost estimate for the remainder of the work to be completed?
Not all the projects, no. They're still in
Would that be
design.
advantageous for the city of Revere to get that information?
Yes, but also, I mean, we can get vague estimates, I'm sure,
Okay,
but once you get through the planning process, we'll be, again, funding them to come up with those numbers.
well, we have some big bonds coming up in the near future, so I'm just
Yes.
curious, if we keep on adding another 15 years to this decree at $1 million, that's another 30 million, 40 million, potentially bonding for the city of Revere. I know you don't have anything to do with that, Chris, I'm just,
No, I understand. I understand this is a sore subject with everyone.
yeah.
It's been ongoing for some time, and believe me when I say we are trying our best.
Appreciate it, I'm just trying to get up to speed on this dissent decree.
Yep, and we can definitely sit down and go over all the numbers as well.
I appreciate that, Chris.
Yep,
For all your hard work.
of course.
Any other councilors? If I can make a comment from the chair? Thank you. This is another one of those unfunded mandates that is torturous to the taxpayers. This was completely with a gun to our head, and I just want the taxpayers to understand we have absolutely no control of the federal government, and they've forced us to do this, and we have to spend this money to come in compliance. So that's what this is all about. We're all frustrated about it because it's like lighting money on fire. But I think if we're honest, it has made progress in our infrastructure. And $120 million, we would hope there was some progress made, but it has made a difference. But I know it won't be probably done in my lifetime, but we're stuck with it. Thank you. On the roll call on the consent, on the bond.
Shall the City Council approve a loan order in the amount of $1,250,000 for Mass DEP CWSRF Planning Project number 19200? Councilor Argenzio.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Cogliandro.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Janino.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guarino Sawaya.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Hass.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Kelly.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor McKenna.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Mercurio.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Novoselsky.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Silvestri.
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Zambudo.
Yes.
Yes, the loan order has been approved.
On the resolution, all in favor, all opposed? So ordered.
Calendar item number 7, hearing called is ordered on a bond authorization in the amount of $500,000 for Mass DEP Project, 19201.
This is a public hearing. Proponents.
Mr. President, Richard Viskey, CFO, 281 Broadway. I am here in support of the loan order for us to continue on with compliance with the consent decree. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other proponents? You can just raise your hand if you want, Chris.
Thank you, Chris Jaramella, Superintendent of Public Works. This is for the planning of Conveyance 2, which will be the next conveyance project, which will upsize and relay the sewer force main from Wade Park in North Revere, going down into the, behind the Squire Road Shopping Plaza.
Thank you for that information. At least we know where we're spending our money. Any other proponents? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Except for everybody. Hearing and seeing none. Councilors? So until we got to take a 5-minute recess. Okay, Madam Clerk.
This is a roll call for shall the City Council approve a loan order in the amount of $500,000 for Mass DEP CWSRF Planning Project number 19201. Counselor Argenzio.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Cogliandro.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Janino.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Guarino-Sawaya.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Kelly.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor McKenna.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Mercurio.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Novoselsky.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Silvestri.
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Zambudo.
Yes.
Yes, the loan order has been approved.
On the resolution, all in favor, all opposed, so ordered.
Calendar item number 8, hearing called as ordered on the application of Mario Zapage, 791 Broadway, Revere, Mass., requesting a special permit from the Revere City Council to enable the appellant to construct 2 townhouse dwellings at 661 Washington Ave.
Proponents. Counselor.
Mr. President, good evening, and members of the Revere City Council. James Cipolletta, and I'm the attorney for Mario Zapage, who's here with me. He's the principal in Zapage Development. We have before you an application for a special permit to construct 2 two-unit townhouses on 9,410 square feet of land at the corner of Washington Avenue and Park Avenue. The plans that you have before you show 2 side-by-side townhouses, which are not, they're staggered as to setbacks from the front of the property line along the public way, so as to eliminate this sort of monolithic look of townhouses that you may see in other cities or other parts of the town. It's a safer and a more appeasing look. Townhouses are allowed in the RB district. This is RB zoned. Currently, there's a 2-family house, used to be a 2-family house till it got burned. That's going to be removed, and in its place, 2 of these townhouse units, which will be side by side. They're appropriately spaced. They're safely laid out. The setbacks do need some very minor relief from the Zoning Board of Appeals, so we will be visiting later on in this month. It would be a much safer build because these townhouses would have to comply with all of the current codes: building code, health code, electrical code, Board of Health, and so on. Rather than rebuilding what is now standing or has been mostly destroyed. The buildings, as you see from the plans you have in front of you, fit well on the lot. It gives enough light, air, open space, and setback. We anticipate that we will be successful at the Zoning Board of Appeals to obtain their dimensional regulation relief, and that would be in a couple of weeks. Any questions? Mario's here. He wants me to let you know that these are very similar to the ones that he built on Revere Street, which sold out in less than 2 weeks.
We got to go through the public hearing, so
Right.
we'll call for proponents and opponents and then councils. Any other proponents, people in favor of this project? Hearing and seeing none.
Chairman, there is a letter on file from Jeannie Serino, 54 Carlson, in favor.
Okay. We'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? People against? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that side of the hearing. Councilor Janino.
Thank you. I haven't received any phone calls from the neighbors or abutters, either positive or negative about this here yet. I looked at the plans on it, and I think it kind of fits the neighborhood, the 2 duplexes, and it's going to look pretty good when they finish, I think. I'm in support of it.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Silvestri.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This will be coming to zoning, but in Mrs. Serino's letter supporting the project, she did mention something regarding the driveway. She thought the driveway could have been changed. Did you see that? I'm sorry, can you just...
Yes, on the plans, one of the townhouses have the entrance from the church from the other side of the street. And doesn't have a garage, has a double parking spots. That's the reason 3 of them has a garage and 1 has a parking. Each
Okay.
of them has 2 parking spots, though.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor McKenna.
Thank you, Mr. President. My only concern is we've had problems on Sergeant Street and Washington Street. We've had cars go through the fences. There's a corner house there. And to make the turn on Sergeant Street, and Chris knows this, we had to put bollards.
Yes,
So,
we can do that.
yeah, so, I mean, the car's been through this poor woman's fence 3 times, 3 different cars.
We can add
So
them,
we
yeah,
need some barrier there on the corner, because it is taking up some of that corner. So, thank you.
These are some of the things that can be worked out in zoning. Council Mercurio.
Thank you, Council President. I'm a little concerned about this last townhouse being so close to the curvature. Our zoning calls for a driveway cannot be within 20 feet of the curvature of the road. Number 2, this is one of the busiest intersections in Revere without a light. So my problem with this whole development is that when the cars back out, they're backing into the curvature of the roadway. I mean, I'm all for I'm pro-development by all means, but I think putting this last townhouse is not going to work. I would be happy with 3, but the way this third one sits, or the first one, I don't know how they're numbered here. It's within. I know it's not. We're not zoning here, but I can't be in favor of this, to be honest with you, because like I said, it's one of the busiest intersections in Revere that doesn't have a light. Thank you, Mr. President. I don't know if you can respond to that.
Thank you, Council. These are things that can be worked on. If you want to respond to that, you can
Only
respond.
that is one of the issues that the zoning board of appeals is going to deal with.
Council Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilor Mercurio kind of stole my thunder, but before I give my just a brief remarks, could I, Madam Clerk, have could we have the letter from Mrs. Serino read into the record, please?
Go ahead. Read it in, please.
From Jean Serino, 54 Carlson Ave. I submit this letter as the former property owner of 661 Washington Ave, along with my late husband, Richard. I have seen the proposal, and on its face, it looks to be a good use of the land, and I feel it will fit in nicely with the neighborhood. I also have seen some of the applicants' other projects and feel they complement their neighborhoods. So in this respect, I'm a proponent of the project. However, there is one aspect of the proposal I feel a responsibility to address, and that's the proposed new driveway on Washington Ave. I've seen traffic increase over the 30 years I've lived at this house, lived at this address. The intersection of Washington Ave and Malden Street has had its share of accidents, to the point where stop signs and a blinking red light have been added to both directions of Washington Ave traffic to go along with the stop signs for Malden Street drivers entering Washington Avenue. Guardrails have also been added in front of 2 Washington Avenue properties, including the project's direct abutter. Cars have jumped the intersection island and caused property damage, including to my own yard. Taking my firsthand experiences into account, the proposed new driveway on the Washington Ave side of the property should be given more thought from a safety standpoint. Not every car from Malden Street comes to a full stop at their stop sign before accelerating onto Washington Avenue. And in my opinion, anyone entering or exiting that new driveway is at serious risk of an accident. I understand that since I no longer live there, it ought to be the will of the direct and indirect butters of the property and the council to decide what's best for the neighborhood. It's my wish that the proposed project works for everyone. Jean Serino, 54 Carlson Ave.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Go ahead. Council
Thank
Kelly.
you. So I have basically the same concerns that Councilor Mercurio spoke about. We have a 9,400 square foot lot. Generally, we need 3,000 square feet of land per unit. So we're a little short there. But that's not my main concern, because generally I want to support townhouses. I think single families and townhouses, I'm a proponent of them. They can put people on a path to homeownership and build stability and wealth, so I generally want to support townhouses. But this one, because of specifically where it's located in this intersection, causes me to pause, only because of the driveway and the dangerousness of that and the congestion of that particular intersection. If this was on further down Washington Ave on the straight strip, I probably wouldn't have an issue with it at all. It's just because of this particular location, the location of the driveway, the curvature, all of those things pose safety concerns for me. The other thing is just the other relief that you'll need from the ZBA regarding the setback. I understand that one of the abutters there that will be affected by the reduction in the setback has an in-ground pool. So I don't know how they'd feel about it, and in order for me to, I don't know if you directly spoke to them. I know that notification's given, but sometimes, as a counselor, I hear a lot from constituents that they don't receive notice. So in order for me to vote on this, I would rather know that they definitely know about this property line aspect. So in light of all that, I'm not saying no to townhouses, but I think maybe 3 townhouses with some type of a shared driveway, maybe on Washington, on Malden, where the driveway is now, would be maybe a better compromise. So maybe something could be worked out. I don't think the only other option is to rebuild what's there. We could have other options rather than just 4 townhouses or to build what's there. Maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle, so.
So financially, 3 of them are not going to make sense. That's the problem.
That was a business decision on your part, though.
You
It's
know.
not, it's,
We can
No, I
work this out.
understand, but if you
We
like
can work this out
townhouses,
in
now you want
zoning.
us to
We're
build
not gonna-
townhouses.
We're not going to litigate this project tonight. Councilor Guarino Sawaya.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mrs. Lepage, you built the other townhouses, right, 9 of them?
Yes.
How many new owners purchased them? Are they all sold, or
All sold in a couple of weeks, all 9 of them.
all 9 of them sold right away?
Yeah.
My question, I like this project, to be honest with you. I think it complements the character of the neighborhood. And I think it keeps the aesthetics of the neighborhood the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, I like the project. Thank you.
Councilor Cogliandro.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's what I was going to ask, is you built the townhouses over the old Sons of Italy. Are these going to be the same style?
Same
Same
style,
exact style?
same style.
2 beds, 2 baths, 2 parking
Same
spots?
style, same
And
style.
currently, the property that's there, how many units were in that property?
They were I believe, it was 2 family, but almost 4 units, 2 were illegal, I guess.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
you know,
Okay, Councilor Gentile.
Thank you, Mr. President. I looked over the plans. I don't see a problem with them. I think it fits into the aesthetics of the neighborhood. I like townhouses, and I think it'll add to the neighborhood. And I always defer to the ward councilor. The ward councilor is happy with the project. He represents the area. I don't see any opposition here to this, so I'm in favor of the project. Thank you.
This is going to zoning.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Angela, take over here.
Calendar item number 9, hearing called is ordered on the application of Andrea Garcia, 150 Arnold Street, Revere, Mass., requesting a special permit from the Revere City Council to modify an existing non-conforming structure and use from a tow company to a restaurant at 855 Broadway.
Proponents?
Good evening, all members of the council. Andrea Garcia, 150 Arnold Street with Valentin's General Contracting. Again, just like Ashley mentioned, this is formerly known as Atlantic Towing, and it will be now, we're dividing into 2 spaces. One will be we're relocating the existing Pollo Royal restaurant at 529 Broadway, now at this location, and then the space to the left will just be like a vanilla box just to lease out to another tenant.
Any proponents? Any opponents? I'm going to close both sides of the hearing. Councilors? Councilors Vestry? Oh. I am the ward council. I'll hold my comments till later.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam President, actually, right now. Thank you. So I just was wondering, how many, are you the restaurant owner? No, I'm not. Oh, you're just a contractor?
Just contractor.
No, I just want to, how many seating, how much will the seating be, and,
So for seating count, we have, I apologize, let me just freshen up here. We have occupancy use of, I apologize, I haven't seen these in a little bit. About 30 seating count, approximately.
okay, and then how many parking spots will be?
No parking.
No parking?
There's no parking.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Council Mercurio?
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I'm off of the restaurant, but this plan is kind of incomplete. We don't know what the facade's going to look like. You have 2 driveways that need to be closed up. We have another restaurant that's coming up, and they have a detailed plan of what the building's going to look like, the floor plan of the restaurant. So this plan is incomplete in my book. You're just saying you convert an old toll business into a restaurant with an incomplete plan.
And I do apologize. We were, yes, in the process of getting the plan complete, which is the one I have in front of me, and I will submit it, but it was just not ready at the time of that I submitted the application.
Okay.
But I do have a complete set of plan that can be reviewed.
What the facade's
And
going to
yes,
look like, the
everything. Yep,
restaurant,
I
the
have it.
entrances,
Yes.
all the handicap facilities
Yep.
inside the restaurant?
I have it all, and I do apologize that it wasn't submitted.
Okay, that would be great to
Yes.
present that to the council.
Yes, definitely.
I love the idea that finally that building is getting a new life into it.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be a great asset to the city. But you should present a plan to the council prior to coming up in front of us.
Yes.
So we all can get a look-see at it.
Yes.
That's all.
definitely.
Thank you, Madam Vice President.
Thank you. Council Cogliandro?
Thank you, Madam Vice President, or President Pro Tempore. What is it right now? One of
Pro
the two.
temporum.
Shrimp tempura? Sorry. You're not going to be selling motorcycles or mini bikes out of that
No,
location,
we
correct?
No, we won't be. I know that was one of the biggest issues there.
I agree with Councilor Mercurio. I'm very happy to see this building getting a facelift. I'm very happy to seeing the use change. And I do agree, I wish we had some more detailed plans, but I know we're going to be going to zoning, so if we could have them by then, that'd be great. There's no parking here. This is Pollo Real going in from
Yes.
down the road, right?
Exactly.
And there's really no parking over there
There
other than
isn't.
street parking. And how many seats was the occupancy again? I'm sorry.
It is, it's 30, yes.
All right, and this used to be my ward. I haven't heard anything from the people that I'm still in communication with in that neighborhood. All I can tell you is that they've dealt with a lot over there. And, not to speak, this is now Councilor Guarino Sawaya's ward, but they've dealt with a lot because of the company that's currently there. Not to speak poorly about them, but if there is a neighbor in the area, I would just ask maybe you guys do anything you can to work with them.
Yeah,
I am in
definitely.
favor of this 100%. So just continue to be good neighbors is all I ask.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Guarino. Councilor Janino, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Is this going to be similar to
next.
the other restaurants we have in our setup?
I'm
Like the one-
sorry?
Similar to the other restaurants they have? Polo Royal, like the one in
Yes.
Revere, the one in the Lynn,
Exactly.
the one over in Everett, the one down in Rhode Island?
Yep, it will be
So it's going to be all,
exactly the same.
it's going to be a nice restaurant.
Oh, yes,
From what I'm
definitely.
seeing. I mean, I've been to half dozen, or 3 or 4 in the area,
Yes.
and seen pictures of the other 2 or 3 he has out of state.
They all have pretty much similar facade, all the,
Some decor and stuff like that, and all the,
it will be pretty much an exact replica.
very nice then. And the family's a decent family to work with.
Yes.
And I've seen with the neighbors, and I've seen them help the city out a few times. I was the police department over the years. They've helped us out with different things, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilor Guarino Sawaya.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hi. So, as the ward counselor, I have not received any communication at all about this development or about this proposed restaurant. I haven't heard from any abutters, and I would really like to know how they feel about having another restaurant in that area as well. I'm not against it because I want to clean up what is there. But I am interested in seeing what the neighbors have to say, particularly regarding the parking that's around there. How many people are expected to go into the restaurant? Is there going to be ample parking in, like, right in front of it? Are we going to be parking on the street?
Street parking, because there's no
Right.
parking in, yeah.
So what's going to happen with the neighbors that actually live right next door? Do you know what I'm saying? I would like to get some community input, if that's possible. Maybe set up a community meeting with the abutters.
Okay,
That's what I would like to see, if that's possible. Thank you.
definitely, yes. Could definitely work with that.
Thank you, Counselor. Any other counselors? Counselor Mercurio.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for the leeway. How big is the interior of this space?
So it's going to be divided into two spaces. So what the space that Pollo Real will be occupying is 3,200 square feet. And then next door is about 2,100 square feet,
So you're going to have two uses out of it now?
2 uses.
Okay. I think you need to present the plan to the counselor.
Yes.
We're looking at a restaurant, now it's going to be another use. We're
Yes,
just
there's
going to, we're
two
going to help you
spaces.
through the process, but we need to see this on paper.
Yes.
To see what we're voting for.
Definitely, yep.
Okay.
I will send those over.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Anyone else? Zoning.
Calendar item number 10, hearing called as ordered on the application of Flor Gomez, 276 Malden Street, Revere, Mass., requesting a special permit to enable the appellant to modify a nonconforming structure by converting a retail flower shop to a restaurant at 619 Broadway.
Proponents. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Revere City Council members. My name is Oswaldo Lemus III, a.k.a. Ozzy, with Designs by Austin III, architectural and design and engineering design solutions for the past 20 years. I'm here with the owners, Flor and Carlos Sanchez, for an application for a special permit, an effort to create an admirable, attractive building for the city of Revere, bringing in more revenue, continuing to stay in harmony with the main streets and character of the city of Revere. The building is located in the intersection of Broadway and School Street, where it once was a floral shop. Now I'll explain the proposed architectural concepts with the plans you guys already have. The building is zoned in a general business area. We're changing the occupancy to a mixed use, a 30-seat restaurant serving Italian and Spanish dishes with a small bar with all the required amenities per Mass Codes, City of Revere regulations, including a full kitchen at ground level. Again, all in compliance with the City of Revere and the Mass Code. Of course, with the Board of Health, Fire Department, and a single residence, 1-bedroom apartment, bathroom, small kitchen, living room with a 5-foot diameter spiral stairway and emergency fire escape at the second floor. As well as adequate parking for both units. We have 4 existing parkings in that lot. There's also going to be a dumpster and the actual fire escape. Plenty of room. We'll do some nice landscaping as well. Also note that we're going to be raising the floors about 2 feet because we don't have enough height for the kitchen, and give it more height on the restaurant, give it a bigger presentation, more elegant look. The building footprint will remain the same. Exterior materials will generally remain the same. Vinyl siding, architectural roofs as shown on the rendering. We'll add some more windows at the side where the intersection is to give it more light. And then, again, more landscaping, decorative elements, and a future sign to attract clients to the new restaurant, as it will be called No Stress, with a stop sign, kind of, sign style. The idea is to keep a clean look, as the building has unique features anyways. There's not too much to do to it. It's got a glass facade or glass canopy on the right side. It's really small anyway, so it's kind of a challenge to accommodate the stairs, and get that one-bedroom upstairs. Again, just to create a restaurant with that beautiful entry with audible curb appeal. We have maintained the redesign objectives to stay within the dimensional controls with the city of Revere, as well as adequate parking that there already exists. We're seeking a special permit to relieve a non-conforming structure within the existing non-conforming lot. Let me just get a little bit deeper in here into what the lot conditions are. The existing building is in a very exposed location, which makes it a perfect location for a restaurant, keeping in harmony and character with the modern Revere Broadway look for pedestrian walking and keep that nice modern look that we want to create as we, move forward. Again, adequate parking, which no one has. We have 4 spaces, which is more than enough for requirements. Has adequate public sewage, water facilities from the previous floral business. We'll upgrade all the required civil requirements as deemed, if we need to upgrade, including a new and appropriately calculated grease trap for the restaurant. I think that's the only thing that's actually missing. The proposed building will fall in line with all the current upgrades going on through the city of Revere. It will not in any way harm or degrade or cause any disruption to the neighborhood. On the contrary, it will enhance the vacant building and create a community hub for pedestrians to admire and visit, versus having an eyesore, an empty vacant lot, and create this beautiful, charming restaurant open all year round to serve the public, which will also bring more revenue and harmony to the city of Revere.
Great, thank you very much. Any other proponents? People in favor? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? People opposed? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that side. Councilors? Councilor Cogliandro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hi, guys. So I don't know anything about this. This is my ward. I hadn't heard about this. I do love that we're, bringing another restaurant. I think it's great. My question is the 4 parking spots, where will you be pulling into them? Will it be from Broadway or will it be
From School Street where the actual driveway is right now.
Okay. So somebody would, to access, are those spots going to be for
Well,
customers?
one would actually be for
Staff?
staff. I say the 2 front was for staff and possibly the one for upstairs.
Okay,
So
so
that way
that's a little bit better if it's for staff, because that
Yeah.
street
Yeah, it's not going to
is
be
a
possible
nightmare
to
half the
tandem
day.
parking for public. I get
Yeah.
it.
And what type of restaurants going in?
That's Italian,
Sold?
Spanish,
Oh,
American food.
And will you be seeking a liquor license?
I think so.
Okay, and when you, and just because I want to know, because there's a lot of residences over there, and I've done nightclub security for a long time. How many patrons do you plan?
30 seats.
30 seats. How many bar seats? Is that included in the
7.
30? 7? Is that?
Small bar.
Okay, and what type of license are you going for? Are you going to have entertainment? Are you going to have 1 a.m.? Are you going to try to go to 2 a.m.?
I think we're just going to go with a basic license.
You have to come to the microphone, sir, please. Thank you.
Yeah, for now it's a basic liquid license, it's
I'm so sorry, could you just give your name and address?
Carlos Sanchez.
Hi, Carlos.
Yeah, it's basic liquid license and no entertainment, small plates.
So-
Most of it will be tapas and cocktails, so.
So no DJ, maybe you just play some music through speakers?
Just
No-
speaker, but, quiet music, good for drinking. So we aiming for something more for couples and friendly places, there are a bar.
Nothing for single people?
Well, that too,
I'm kidding. Listen, I just want to know, because I know the questions that I'm going to get asked.
Yeah.
I'm in favor of having a brand-new restaurant. And just one more question. This is modifications to the building. Are you changing the footprint of this building at all?
No, we're gonna keep the same thing. So, future patio in the future, because we have a nice patio onto the side, but we have to request that separate.
This is going to zoning, right, Mr. President?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So we'll do the presentation then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Mercurio.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one question. The second floor of this building, is it going to be used for anything besides the restaurant, or are you going to make an apartment out
It's
of
going to
it?
be a one-bedroom apartment with a separate entry.
Okay,
And then we'll have the form of egress with the spiral stair.
okay, spiral stairs, so there'll be two means of egress.
Yes.
Okay, great. And the all-seasons porch that you're presenting, that's the existing glass structure that's there now?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, so that'll be for the summertime, future outdoor dining.
and are those windows, do they open up in the summer months, or is that just like a greenhouse type of glass?
We'll have to see, because obviously there's going to be insects, whether we want to stay cool inside, or we'll have to play that by ear. But it will be functional.
Okay, great. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I think it's going to be a wonderful restaurant for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other counselors? Zoning.
Calendar item number 11, hearing called as ordered on the application of H&J Realty LLC, 126 Morris Street, Revere, Mass., requesting a special permit to enable the appellant to reconstruct, alter, and extend a pre-existing non-conforming residential structure into a 4-story residential apartment structure consisting of 9 units at 95 Stanton Ave.
Public hearing, proponents. Counselor? I'm on. Am I the only mic that's working?
There it goes.
Testing 1, 2.
Thank you. Tech support. Good evening, President Zambuto and city councilors. My name is Nancy O'Neill. I am an attorney located at 14 Proctor Avenue. I represent the applicant in this matter, H&J Realty LLC, and I am joined here tonight by the principal of H&J Realty LLC, Mr. Harry Patel of Morris Street, as well as our project engineer, Mr. Jim Zigowitz of the MZO Group. H&J Realty LLC is the owner of the subject property, 95 Stanton Avenue, located at the corner of Stanton Avenue and American Legion Highway, which you can see here. The proposal is for the reconstruction and extension of this 110-year-old multifamily building and accessory garage. This current building is over 100 years old. It is a building that is falling into disrepair. We are proposing to replace this older building with a new, well-designed structure that would contain 9 apartments. This new structure would contain 4 stories with parking on the first floor in a screened area and 3 residential stories above the parking floor. So this structure would be about 7 feet taller than the existing building, but feature increased setbacks to neighbors over what is currently there. So this building is deliberately sited on the lot to push it away from neighboring property lines and toward the street line, which fits with neighboring properties along American Legion Highway. So the size and scale of this proposed building fits with the surrounding properties, and this property is also not anticipated to have traffic impact. This building will feature 9 parking spaces, providing spaces at a 1-to-1 space-to-unit ratio. So this building features sufficient parking to meet demand. So overall, this building will form a significant improvement over the existing structure, provide increased setbacks to neighbors, plant extensive new landscaping and trees, and form an overall renewal of this portion of American Legion Highway. Again, this is a minimally impactful project with sufficient parking that will beautify this area. And my client, Mr. Patel, is a City of Revere resident and small business owner who is looking to improve this property in the city. Again, this is not a developer here. This is a City of Revere resident. So this project is by a local property owner looking to improve a 100-year-old building and improve the appearance of American Legion Highway. And for these reasons, we would respectfully request that this honorable council look favorably upon the application for special permit. And as always, we are happy to answer any questions that you may have and discuss the project further at zoning subcommittee. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other proponents? People in favor? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that side of the hearing. Opponents? Anybody opposed? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that side of the hearing. Councilors, and Councilor Carino Sawaya.
Thank you, Mr. President. A community meeting was held regarding 95 Stanton Street. And the abutters that came out there came and shared their concerns. To be honest with you, many of them live right next door to this poorly maintained property for years and have dealt with trash and rodent issues. They said that they deserve to see this property improved. While the original proposal was for 12 units, and the residents were actually in favor of the 12 units, I was completely against it. I requested it be reduced to 9 units to ensure the one-on-one parking underneath the building and prevent any added pressure on the neighborhood street parking. The adjustment was made with the surrounding residents in mind, and I truly appreciate what you guys have done, bringing it down from the 12 units. Now, we don't have to worry about this parking, and it'll be 1-to-1. The developer also committed to twice weekly commercial trash pickup and a fenced enclosure, proactive rodent mitigation prior to it, during it, and after it, PVC fencing between the property, landscaping and sprinklers, police detail as needed while it's being built, and dust control measures, which is one of the things that the neighbors wanted. So for me, my role was to take this actively and bring it down to best fit the neighborhood. And I'm trying to make sure that this property is improved responsibly, and I'm trying to protect the neighbors in the best way I can. And I really appreciate you guys coming down from the 12 units to the 9 units, because this makes me more apt to say yes. Thank you very much.
Councilor Mercurio.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. O'Neill, the project seems nice, but as a developer, and I am a developer, I have to look at the whole area. And I spoke to Chris Charmello, and we went over the infrastructure. A lot of these developers are forgetting the most important part of a development is the infrastructure. We're going to be adding 9 new toilets, 9 new sinks, 9 new more showers to this neighborhood area. The pipe that services that area is insufficient to service that street, Stanton Street. So I'm going to ask the developer that he's going to be required to put a new water line. The sewer line is fine. We checked into that. The water line needs to be replaced from, correct me, Chris, from, we need 1 new gate.
The size was pretty adequate, just the gate was bad.
Okay, so the size is adequate and the water line is fine?
But there's one bad gate.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a big ask and completely put 2 gates and also a new water line down the whole street, because it's gonna need it. And we wanna probably up the size of it to service all the residents in that area. And the trash, the dumpster, where is that located? Where is that gonna be located?
I believe it wouldn't be a dumpster, it would be
It would be
an
in-store,
enclosure.
It'd be a trash enclosure immediately on the right side of the entrance off of Stanton.
And what type of, it's not going to be a dumpster, it's going to be barrels?
I actually think it would be a dumpster. Twice a week, we were thinking that a 3.5-yard dumpster would be fully
Okay.
sufficient.
Okay, because I had spoke to, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, it would be a dumpster. It would be located on the other side, on the side that's, this is the American Legion Highway view.
Yes.
It would be located on the other side of the building.
Okay. I spoke to Chris Charmello, the head of DPW. He's a little concerned about the dumpster being so close to the property line also. So we need to find a new home for the dumpster and a new water line down to whole Stanton Street with 2 new gates. And you can be under the direction of the city engineer and Chris Charmello for that water line. We'd like to see that water line updated, and I'd be in favor of the project. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Kelly, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr.
For some reason,
President.
I'm
So it's no surprise, I'm not really in favor of more apartments because of the cumulative effect that they've having on our infrastructure. And it's the number one thing I get from residents saying that they just don't want any more apartments. But that being said, this is a particularly small lot for 9 units, where you're actually building on like 1/5, I believe, of what would be required by our zoning code for this building. So to me, it's an example of extreme overbuilding. It's not just a minor exception that we're looking at. And it seems to be something that's driven, a density that's driven by profit. So, and I don't think it's a good fit for the neighborhood. The standard is that whether or not the proposal will not be more detrimental to the neighborhood. But in coming to that determination, we're supposed to look at things like size, height, and number of units. So to me, this, because of the size, height, and the number of units, we're magnifying the nonconformity. We're not just expanding on it slightly. It's a gross magnification of already the nonconformity that we have. So I don't think this is something that I'm going to be able to support. If it was a smaller building with fewer units, then yes, possibly, but thank you.
According to our rules, I can't let you speak again. But this is going to zoning. We can work all these details out. We're doing a little more than we normally do on these special permits tonight. Yeah, it's just that we have these committees for a reason. And, you know, you've got some great ideas there, and they should be presented there. And before this comes to the council, all these things can be worked out again in zoning.
It's understood. Thank you.
Councilor Argenzio.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Chimella, can I ask a question, please? What's the size of the water line on Stanton?
8-inch.
8-inch? And you don't feel it's adequate to support this new project?
I think the water line is sized appropriately. It's just, I did say there's one bad gate at the end of the street.
One bad gate. So you don't feel the water line needs to be 8-inch
I
for
don't
that?
even know where I think one of the utilities is coming off of Lee Burbank, actually. I didn't see the layout. I believe the sprinkler service is coming off one street, and the domestic is coming off another.
I see. So the building has 2 different water lines, one for sprinkler.
Yes. Yes, I don't know which one's coming off which, but
okay.
Yes, there's 2 independent. One's grabbing off of American Legion, and one's coming off of Stanton. And I'm sorry, it's a 6-inch.
6-inch water line, okay. There's only like 2 houses on that street, right?
I don't know.
On Stanton?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, maybe 6, 7.
6, okay. All right, thank you very much.
Yep, of course.
Any other councilors? Zoning.
Public comment pursuant to Chapter 402 of the Acts of 1965.
Anybody's going to be making public comments? Now's your time to come up and tell us what you're going to speak on. Seeing none, that's over. You want to call on? Okay, there's a motion to suspend rules. All in favor, all opposed? Aye.
City Council is under suspension of rules to take up calendar item number 19, Motion presented by Councilor Haas that the mayor be requested to establish a medical equipment loan program through Elder Affairs and Public Health Departments. The program would allow seniors who are in need of medical equipment or any resident who undergoes a procedure and is in need of equipment to borrow items such as a wheelchair, walker, transport chair, commode, shower bench, chair, cane, knee scooter, etc. There would be no charge to the city, simply storage and tracking of said equipment, as well as zero cost to the residents who take out the equipment. The inventory and supply of equipment would rely solely on donated items, allowing the program to start from the ground up and essentially run itself over time. The program would also feature a waiver that the resident would sign before taking the equipment home. The program would allow our residents easy access to items while avoiding large purchases on medical items, especially if the resident is in need of the equipment for only a short period of recovery window.
Councilor Haas.
Thanks so much, Mr. President. So in my current place of employment, this is something that I work with on a daily basis. We have a unique opportunity here. We get to build this program from the ground up, and it simply relies on residents donating equipment that's in great shape. We would not have to accept any equipment that's damaged, rusty, anything like that. So we get to build up a little surplus of the equipment that was mentioned in the motion, whether it's a wheelchair or a rollator or a cane or anything like that, even crutches. But you would not have to accept all the equipment that comes in. So what happens is you build up a little surplus, you store the items, you find a place to store the items. A resident has surgery or a senior's looking for something like a transport chair, their family's looking for a transport chair or a wheelchair, they would call the Elder Affairs Department or, the Public Health Department, and they would say, looking for a transport chair for a week for my elderly mom who recently had surgery. Then you'd check the storage to see if you had said equipment, and you would have them sign the waiver. They would take the equipment, and it's kind of run on, say, like the honor system. So you would lend it out to the senior or the person who's having surgery for, you would say, a few weeks or just as much as however long they would need the equipment. But it's a great program. Like I said, I work with it on a daily basis, and I see probably several requests a week. I also see a good number of residents, local residents from the surrounding cities and towns call and look to donate equipment that's barely used, purchased for a loved one that recently passed, or just has been in storage for some time and that's still able to offer usage to residents and seniors. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Guarino-Sawaya.
Thank you, Mr. President. Great motion, Councilor Haas. I think this program is going to be a win-win for everyone. It will be zero cost to the city, zero cost to the residents, and real support when people need it the most. It allows donated equipment to be put back into circulation, to repurpose it, creating a self-sustaining system rooted in compassion and common sense. I absolutely love it. I'm so proud of this motion. Thank you.
Silvestri.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great motion. I really, I just have to say that we tried this in the Veterans Office for a while. I think two things we would need to look at for a bit is where we would store the equipment. Another issue we ran into with the Board of Health was with the commodes. We couldn't take commodes and repurpose them. But we did do a similar thing there are, I think, I don't know if the veterans would have them, but there are electronic wheelchairs that I had in a storage unit in North Revere that might be able to be utilized in this as well. But there just might be a few kinks that we have to work out. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Novoselsky.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think it's a great idea, and like Councilor Silvestri said, we have tried this before through the ADA Discrimination Commission, and they gave it up because they had no place to store the equipment. And I know they were always referred to as a place in Woburn that...
The Masonic Lodge.
Masonic Lodge, right. And we referred everybody up there to anything that they would need, and they can get the things for nothing also. So that's the only concern I have is, and who specifically would control it, within the city. So, thank you.
Thank you, Counsel. Counsel Mercurio?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great motion, Mr. Haas. I'm in full support of it. I do agree with Councilor Novoselsky and Silvestri that we'll work the details out on this, and we'll make this happen somehow. And it's a great motion, and I'm in full support of it.
If I might add my 2 cents to this, I'm thrilled with this motion. I think it's a great motion. In the past, I've had real trouble getting wheelchairs for constituents. I found out through my good friend Barbara Pucci that we could go up to Shriners, and we did, and it worked out wonderful. There's a routine, and you got to sign your life away, but you got to bring it back. But I think if we can do it here and we can take care of the logistics, it would be great. And when people need things like a wheelchair for their loved one, it's a big deal, and you wouldn't think it is until you try to get one. And so I think this is a wonderful motion, and I think we can work out the details. We have the director here of the senior center. I don't know if she'd like to come up. That's why I took this out of order, to try to get her out of here. But Madam Director.
Thank you, Counselor. I appreciate it. And I think we're all on the same page with this, so I'm not here to be the naysayer. But as Counselor Novoselsky said, there is a program already in place. It's the Freemasons Help Program. When someone calls the senior center for donations, whether they want to give us a wheelchair, a walker, a shower bench, or they want to rent or get one, we do refer them to the Masonic Hospital Loan Program in Woburn. They provide free, durable equipment for homes, for the home use. I personally use the equipment for my dad. It's been great. The program serves residents of Essex, Middlesex, and Suffolk counties and accepts donations of gently used equipment, but not broken items. Equipment can be picked up and returned from 9 a.m. to 12 noon on Saturdays in Woburn, which is approximately 11 miles from Revere. If we were to loan the equipment, we would need someone to collect these items, invoice the items, make sure they're clean, keep track of the loaned equipment, and make sure it's in good working order, which I know we say we have them sign something, but we all know legally they can sign anything. They can still sue the city. In my years at the senior center, no one has ever had trouble getting from this place. If anything, I have to wait till Saturday, and yes, that would be the only. The other thing, too, is my dad had a walker and a cane, and Medicare and Medicaid paid for both. So I don't think this is a program with people getting things for free because they're free. It's more of a problem of where we're going to store the stuff and then who's going to run the program. And we are going to need someone. It's not going to be self-sustained. We are going to need someone to run the program. And that's just my feeling. We need a new job.
Okay, I think I'm going to send this to Ledger Affairs or some committee because we got to work out the details, and we're not going to just pass this without knowing how we're going to facilitate it. Which one? Oh, yes. That's why we have the clerk here. Human Services Committee. Back to the regular order of business.
Calendar item number 12, unfinished business. Motion presented by Councilor Kelly that the City Council amend the City Council Rules of Order by inserting a new rule number 47, community meetings, as follows. For the purpose of requiring internal notification among councilors regarding community meetings held by private applicants or other non-city entities in order to ensure transparency among all councilors, promote equal access to information for both ward and at-large councilors, and avoid open meeting law concerns. Rule 47, community meetings. Any councilor who schedules, hosts, or becomes aware of a community meeting held by a private applicant or other non-city entity concerning matters that may come before the City Council shall provide notice to all City Councilors via email through the City Clerk at least 72 hours in advance of such meeting, when practicable. Such notice shall be for informational purposes only and shall include the date, time, location, and subject matter of the meeting, if known. Councilors who intend to attend such a meeting shall reply to the notice email indicating their intent to attend in order to promote coordination and to avoid quorum-related concerns. Attendance at any community meeting shall be limited so as not to constitute a quorum of the City Council or quorum of any subcommittee of the City Council in order to avoid any violation of the open meeting law. Nothing in this rule shall be construed to require, regulate, or impose notice obligations upon private applicants or non-city entities, nor shall it convert any private community meeting into a public meeting subject to the open meeting law.
Councilor Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a statement I'd like to read on this tonight. I briefly want to restate the purpose of this motion. It's simple. When community meetings are held, councilors should all have the same information about them at the same time. That motion promotes transparency, good faith, and better coordination in how we serve the public. For example, there are times when residents do not receive notice of community meetings. The more of us who are aware that a meeting is happening, the more opportunity there is to help make sure more residents know about it. Broader awareness leads to greater transparency and ultimately more input from residents. I also want to be very clear about what this motion does not do. It does not violate the open meeting law. It does not involve deliberation, decision-making, or any action outside of a properly noticed public meeting. Councilors have attended informational community meetings together in the past, including situations where multiple councilors were present without any issue as long as there was no deliberation. The motion operates on that same principle. Nothing in this motion changes existing legal obligations or meeting practices. It is strictly about notice, information sharing, and transparency. Providing notice of a meeting does not violate the open meeting law. Deliberation among a quorum on public business outside a properly posted meeting does. Whoops. This is not about control, oversight, or enforcement. It does not police anyone's work or question anyone's effectiveness. It simply seeks to ensure that we all have the same information at the same time. I do understand the concern about enforceability, but not every rule or expectation of this council is enforceable through penalty. In fact, many of our rules operate on professional norms and professional courtesies rather than punishment. This motion follows that same exact approach. I don't see how sharing information about an upcoming meeting so that we're all on the same page about it can be viewed as anything other than a positive. Lastly, of course, reasonable people can disagree on matters of process, but this motion simply asks that councilors be informed when community meetings are being held and therefore encourages transparency. It is a well-intentioned information-sharing proposal, nothing more, and it should be seen for what it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Kelly. Any other councilors? No? Okay, roll call.
On the motion, Councilor Argenzio?
No.
No. Councilor Cogliandro?
No.
No. Councilor Janino?
No.
No. Councilor Guarino Sawaya?
No.
No. Councilor Hass?
No.
No. Councilor Kelly?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor McKenna? No. Councilor Mercurio?
No.
No. Councilor Novoselsky?
No.
No. Councilor Silvestri?
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes, the motion fails. Appointment Subcommittee Report.
Councilor McKenna.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight we had a new appointment, Lily Martinez, and one reappointment, Matthew Woofer. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yes. I would like to, they both attended, both gave summaries on what they do, what they're going to do, and I would like to vote them out favorably tonight. Roll call from the council, please.
Take both of them?
Both of them at the same time, that's fine.
You want a roll call on this? No. Now, all in favor, all opposed? So voted.
Calendar item number 15, communication from the mayor relative to the appointment of Anthony Pazziali to the Conservation Commission.
Appointments?
Calendar item number 16, communication from the mayor relative to the reappointment of Layla Petrie to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board.
Appointments.
Calendar item number 17, communication from the city engineer relative to the discontinuance of Broadway from Revere Street to Brown Circle by MassDOT. Councilor Zambudo is recorded as recused from discussion on this motion.
Any, do you want to? We have the Superintendent of Public Works
Good
here.
evening, councilors. Chris Jaramella, Superintendent of Public Works. This motion is for the MassDOT to actually discontinue the section of Broadway from Revere Street to Brown Circle. Some may not know, but that's actually owned currently by MassDOT. They do not maintain the property, that roadway, the city of Revere does, and we're trying to allow them to discontinue it so then we can come before you again with a later motion to accept that roadway, increasing our Chapter 90 funding and setting Broadway, obtaining the rest of Broadway for the city. That's all. Any questions?
Councilor Argenzio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have any questions, but Superintendent Tramello is exactly correct. When I first came here in the 80s, the MassDOT did do some plowing, they did do some sweeping, and then once early 1990s rolled around, they completely abandoned it. So I think it should be part of our inventory, and like Mr. Tramello said, it would increase our consideration for Chapter 90 funding. Thank you.
Councilor McKenna.
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with you. Whatever we can do to get Massport away from Revere, MassDOT, excuse me, Massport too. Massport too, both of them. I agree with you, so
Thank you.
you will.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Silvestri.
Thank you, Mr. President. Chris, all in favor? This is a great idea, and I think something we need to do. Thanks.
Appreciate that.
Councilor Cogliandro.
Thank you, Mr. President. How do we do this more often and continue to take MassDOT's control away from Revere's streets? How do we do that? Is there a
I
process?
guess we can just keep asking. Yeah, there is a process, actually.
Well, let's do that. I mean, maybe we can start with the Harris Street intersection. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Mercurio.
Thank you, Council President. Chris, great motion here, great communication. I think it's important. I'd like to see a couple of more streets if we can. You know, they do a bad job as it is, and it's tough to get them to do anything. So I commend you on getting at least this part of Revere taken care of. And once again, thank you for all your hard work. We appreciate it.
Jeez, we open a can of worms, huh?
Anyone else? Councilor Novoselsky.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think this is a good idea. I've known it's been part of this MassDOT property, and there's always been a question, oh, we don't do that, it's up to them, and there's always arguments going back and forth. The only question on adding something, what do we look at as far as Old North Shore Road? From Revere Beach Parkway down to Kimball Ave?
We can have that discussion.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it up there, because they do plow it, but
There's
that's...
a lot of options, I guess.
Yeah, I know they do plow it, but I think we're the ones that sweep it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So
That's
just put it in your top of your head. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Guarino Sawaya.
Thank you, Mr. Tramello, for taking back Ward 5.
That it for you? Okay, on the motion, all in favor, all opposed? So voted.
Calendar item number 18, motion presented by Councilor Guarino Sawaya that the mayor request the Parking Department and Traffic Commission to conduct a feasibility study on offering free 2-hour parking at metered spots for Revere residents 65 years of age or older who have a valid driver's license and vehicle registered in their name.
Councilor Guarino Sawaya.
Several cities and towns in Massachusetts, including Everett, Framingham, Lexington, and Newton, are already testing this program, and that they offer free and discounted meter parking for residents age 65 and older. They have to present a valid driver's license and have their vehicle registered in their name. I think a feasibility study would help to make sure that something like this, we pick it up. I understand that we did the 15-minute grace period for everyone on the Broadway corridor, but this might be helpful for allowing seniors, especially the 2 hours, once a month, even if we did it that way when they have their senior party at the senior center, the Rossetti Cohen Senior Center. Even if we give them those 2 hours once a month, whatever the mayor or the staff feels would be a good idea, I would like them to look into it. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Anybody else? Counselor Mercurio.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great motion. I'm definitely behind this one. You know, I was looking for parking the other day, and it's difficult for the seniors to use the Passport parking app. So I think this would be a great motion. I hope we can push this through, and it's only for 2 hours. I think the city can handle this, and I think it would be a great thing for the seniors in Revere. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. What's that committee at? We'll send this to Economic Development.
Mr. President, point of personal privilege.
Council Silvestri, state your point of personal privilege.
I just want to thank our fellow councilor, Ivan Novoselsky, with a happy birthday today. So, Councilor Novoselsky's birthday. As well as my daughter at home, Sage's 16th birthday. So, happy birthday, Sage.
Councilor Guerrero Sawaya, did you?
It's her birthday. It was her birthday. What?
Happy birthday.
As well as Counselor Janino's as well.
Oh, wow. People are trying to sneak by here. Happy birthday. Half the council's. What's the date of the next meeting? The city council will stand adjourned until March 9th. Thank you all.